welcome back to the M3DM Tab Room. I have a really fun show prepared for you guys today, and I'm really excited to get these models done. I have our first poll going right now, which is for either the loot or the earth elemental to kind of like warm up. Looks like the loot's gonna win, so I currently have that pulled up, but feel free to get your last few votes in, and then we'll see if it pivots to the earth horse. Who knows? All right, it's already a good crowd in here. Hello to Reefer, Mini Blaze, Taka, and Hindsight. I think I grabbed everybody. And my husband. That's Ricky. I see you guys are taking advantage of all the new fancy commands I have in the chat. Very nice, very nice. It's a pretty close vote right now between the loot and the earth elemental horse. So let you guys pick. For the main Tavern Keeper's Craft today, we have a pretty epic model. It is going to be a Dragonborn, but specifically a gem Dragonborn. So it's pretty much a Dragonborn, but they're covered in like jewels and stuff. But this one's interesting because it has two heads. One of them is a sorcerer, the other one is a warlock. One side's a bit rockier, and the other is more like crystalline, jeweled. It's going to be a lot to put onto one model, but we'll figure it out. Of course, something that unique has to be a Patreon request. They provided a sketch, it's pretty epic. I'll show it to you guys once we get to the Tavern Keeper's Craft. But for now, it's just doors open, settle in, grab a warm drink, and kind of kick back. Have a good time. All right, we have 7 people here and we have 7 votes on the dot. I love to see it. All right, went ahead and ended that poll, and we're set. Mini Blaze, are those the ones that have the dragon head? Yes, they're pretty much like dragon people. All right, we're gonna get a little bit of work done on this loot here. We have the main shape blocked out pretty nicely, but at this point, we need to start adding some secondary forms. I have a render boolean on to carve out this shape right here. I probably won't actually carve out that hole until I'll save this as a master file. My point here is I want to make sure I have lots of loots. The one on the left here is, I made this so long ago. This is from like 2019 or 2020. It's fine, it's serviceable, you know, but my skill sets have improved a lot. Hope you guys are doing well on this lovely Wednesday. Kind of just decide what I want to refine first. We'll kind of just avocado guitar, kind of what it looks like, yeah. I'll just kind of work from the bottom up. Let's go ahead and make this fretboard look a little more fun. But first, I'm actually going to stamp this up here. There we go. And I'm going to replace this with a cube. Essentially, just has better topology. See on the side here, it's kind of gnarly. It's not very fun for me to work with. So we'll go to initialize cube. Why it has like a ton of lines in it, I'm really not sure. Oh, it's because I have render booleans on. That's why. I might even temporarily turn that off because I don't want to see that the whole time. There we go. Haha, figured it out. There we are. Okay. Maverick is already sound asleep. Might hear him snoring earlier than usual. He is that dark mound right here. You cannot see him at all. He is a burrower and he's always wrapped up in this little flannel blanket. I swear there is a dog in there. He's been on stream like twice. It's very important he does not miss his morning nap. Alright, so I'm kind of taking my time with this. I'm really looking at my references and thinking about how detailed I want this to look. There's so many different options for this and how far down the strings go. I'm going to scroll up my references here and I'm going to kind of like hone in on one of them. There we are. But yeah, tell me what you guys are up to. Are you at work? Are you working on a project? Having an easy day at home? I'm curious. I want to know what's going on. This base shape is doing well, so I'm going to leave that alone. also curious if I divide these strings how they're looking. They're a little too high poly on the fronts, so I'm gonna come in with my Z modeler brush and just delete some edge loops. I should have done this with one string first, instead of doing it multiple times, but that's fine. I'm gonna hover over this and click on do nothing, because every time I hover over a poly, it's trying to interact with it, and I don't want that to happen. There we go, just simplifying this a little bit. Since I'm removing some of these edge loops now, when I subdivide, it's gonna start rounding the sides of the strings just a little bit, which is what I want. I also want this base mesh to be as simple as possible. There we are. We don't need any of those horizontal edge loops because we don't have any detail happening that way. Just about done cleaning this up. All right, I'm gonna do mirror and weld across the, I believe it's gonna be the Z axis. There we go. So this is before, this is the after. I went from like 634 points to less than 200. Again, it's not critical, but it's nice to keep it simple. I'm also gonna have the strings lay on the neck of the loot, which obviously is not what would normally happen, but I'm doing that just for 3D printing reasons. I'm gonna leave them off just for a moment. And it looks like I actually have some strings that are in different heights, which is a bummer. So I'm gonna fix that, take one string, and then just duplicate it over a few times. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. Perfect. All right. Done improving the strings a bit. Now it's kind of gets a better shape on this, on the neck here. Monkey's here, hello, hello. Reaper says, I almost got scammed. Very nice. I'm assuming an art commission gone wrong. There are so many art commission scams. It's a huge bummer. Hindsight says, I'm at work, wishing I was at home so I could be doing homework. Gotta get it done for Sunday so I can actually enjoy my D&D session. It's all part of it. I like preparing for D&D sessions almost more than the actual D&D session. Just that kind of player. Medieval says the Reaper, I was sitting in a room with my parents when a scammer called them. Guy had them hooked too, until I went to the other room and called my son and told him the guy was lying. I don't know what annoyed me more, the scam or the fact that they sat in the same room, didn't tell me they thought my son was in trouble. Oh no, they're probably just overwhelmed. Mikey said, geez, the action on that loot is so low. I'm gonna have some dead frets in that one. So action, I think that's a distance between the fretboard and the strings, I'm pretty sure. Which is very funny. Obviously, you're not supposed to have them this close to the board. Reaper said I was updating my ArtStation portfolio and got an email someone saying they wanted to buy my existing art. Just a scam. Oh, you don't have crap. You're doing great. Keep making good stuff. But yeah, it is something that people in ArtStation do. Or not like people, but like there be scammers out there. Just be hyper vigilant. All right, we're going to make this shape here a little better. Is this a Q cube? No, it's not. Only Q cubes. Bam. Simple is better. Scroll that up. Nice. I've had a pretty quiet week. The weather is just beautiful here right now. I think we have some rain coming up. But I've been able to ride a lot more, and that's always nice. Writing is funny. So I like writing a horse, not like writing a book. I enjoy it, but it's hard to get myself to actually do it. I don't know if you guys have that kind of experience. Like, it's a really exhausting hobby to have, or I don't know. Sometimes it's very difficult to spend my energy. Like I'm very greedy with it. I think I was so exhausted in college for so long that now when I feel like good, I don't want to do anything. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I've gotten a lot better with it, but it's like baby steps. So I rarely commit to like, oh, I'm gonna ride my horse today. I just commit to saddling him up. And then by the time I have him saddled, I'm like, oh, this actually sounds like fun. Now I'm excited. But I have to like sneak up on my brain. Otherwise my brain's like, no, must hoard all of the energy and not spend it. I know there's people in the chat that are gonna know what I'm talking about. It's hard to explain that to people. They're just like, why don't you just do things that you like? And I'm like, I don't know. If it was that simple, I'd do it more. My husband's the same way with woodworking. He loves working on projects and getting things done. He's actually building some shelves for us right now. But actually doing it, I don't know. Easier said than done. I'm starting to add some small bevels. Stuff that I know I'm going to want on this lute regardless of what style I go for. Fun fact, lutes are ancient. They've been around since Mesopotamia times, which was like 4,000 years ago. I thought it was just like a Renaissance period thing or just like medieval Europe royalty, but nope. It's been around way longer than that. All right. Let's make that skinnier. So if you ever have this problem with ZBrush like this, where your symmetry is obviously not acting, it looks like a game of Pong, just go to mirror and weld across X axis and it will fix it. Why that happens in the first place, I have no idea. ZBrush just gets lost every now and then, so be nice to it. But I'm gonna replace it anyway because they're not Q cubes and I don't like it then. Back to Q cubes. So I keep saying that, it's because it has nicer topology. Like, see how nice that is compared to that weird little bunchy spiral we had before? All right, technically there should be just as many tuning pieces as there are strings. We currently have 5 strings. I'm going to have 6 tuning things. Don't worry about it. That is the official name, by the way. Tuning things. Why are you being ridiculous? There you go. Interesting that these are behaving differently. Fine by me. Just adding some nice bevels in here. There we go. Just slowly developing some of these secondary forms. Monkey says, Mia, I remember saying that you play. What instruments? I'm best at piano. I've been playing that for, goodness, 10, 15 years? More than a decade. Classically trained, so, you know, all the classics, thinking like Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin, all that kind of stuff. But I also play guitar, and in high school I got pretty good at marimba, so that was a lot of fun. And if you can play marimba, by default you can play the xylophone, vibraphone, very, very similar. It's pretty much just a piano that you hit with sticks, mallets. I also play a little bit of ukulele, but just enough to like play a few songs, not to actually do anything well. In order, I'm best at piano, guitar, then everything else. Monkey plays guitar, bass, mandolin, banjo, piano, and drums. Yeah, I don't play drums at all. My husband's very good at that. It's impressive, like guitar, bass, and banjo have totally different string layouts, so that impresses me. Pegs, tuning pegs. No, they're tuning things. And yes, a happy Spartan then. Spartan is my horse, so he's enjoying the weather and enjoying his attention. I like how the bevel came out on this one the most, so I'm actually gonna just copy this and mirror and weld it. There we go. I'm just kind of making this like these little nubs. They're not as detailed as they could be, so let's make it a little better. They're supposed to kind of fan out. I mean, they don't have to, but we're gonna have these little pieces and then more off to the side. Are these different subtools? Because they were supposed to be. There we go. This is exactly why we have a warm-up, where I'm like, okay, how do I use my software? Ah, yes, that's how. We're gonna put a nice little taper on that. And then stretch out the size. I also want to space these out a little bit more than I have them. These printed surprisingly well. I want there to be even more space on my updated model. There we go. And then the head of this is looking pretty boring. So let's go ahead and turn on symmetry in 2 axes. So it's left and right, and then the front and the back of it. There we go. Start giving this a more fun shape as well. Why it's not symmetrical, I'm not certain. It probably has to do with a poly count issue. So let's put a couple more edge loops to make sure it's going to bend the way I want it to. Before and the after. And then throwing in a mirror and weld just for extra measure. Some of these have these really cool like curves on them and stuff. I'm gonna do like a basic kind of rectangle shape to start. I'm going to delete this edge loop here to make sure it behaves. It keeps saying it's non-symmetrical even though it's mirror and welded. Not sure why. Huh. That is like way off symmetry-wise. When in doubt, just turn on local symmetry, and that usually fixes the problem. There we go. Well, if it's going to be that much of a pain, I'll just do mirror and weld across Z at the end. Now we have our bearings and all looks good again. Let's see. Do I want to bend it? Some of them have this really fun like swirl on them. Oh, I like that one more. Okay, I'm going to go for a more complicated. Monkey says guitar and bass have the same layout for most part. Oh, I didn't realize. It's the same layout pretty much, just missing a few strings. Interesting, just minus the B and E. I didn't know that. All right, I found a cooler fretboard head or whatever, and now I want to make that one. So I'm actually gonna delete this and make this new one I just saw. That'll be some good modeling practice too. And the reference I'm using is super weird and bent, so I'm gonna need to just do this carefully. There we go. My brush eye was too large, so I was kind of confused here because every time I went to click to do something, it kept deleting edge loops. Pay attention to your draw size when you are using a Z modeler brush. You want to be smaller than larger. Just make sure you're not accidentally triggering commands like I was just now. But I'm like, I'm going to figure this out on stream. And I did. All right, so I'm masking just the face of this so I can delete it. We're going to work with a single plane. I'm going to get my base shape down first, and then we're going to kind of pull it over here. Get a nice bit of a taper. And then we got a couple cool things that are gonna be happening. I'm gonna turn off symmetry, insert an edge loop, grab these two, and I'm gonna inset just the right side. All right, inset, polygroup island. It's not really following the mask I was hoping that it would. It should. I wonder why it's doing the entire thing. How about polygroup? It should respect what I just masked. Interesting. I could just force the issue and hide it, and then it doesn't have an option. Not what I planned on doing. Still works. It just shouldn't have had to happen like that. Whatever. All right. Now that I have that, I should be able to delete this inside part right here. There we go. And then mirror and weld. Perfect. I'm going to turn on dynamic, flat subdiv, and extrude some thickness. Here we go. Making sure the offset's negative 100. Just makes it a little easier to work with. And I want the borders to be just a bit larger. So I'm going to carefully go through here and pull off some of these edges. Here we are. Perfect. Hindsight says, I'm guessing she's going to make this one more neutral generic so that it works as a solid base for more character driven. Yes, exactly, for loots in the future. Yep. For the happy hour today, I don't think I'm going to work on a new model. I think I'm actually going to take all of the things I've been exporting over the last month or so and stuff them into my asset library. I know you guys have been wanting to see that, so it's kind of a win-win. All right, I have a really interesting shape here. Let's see how well it bevels. I predict it's going to throw a huge fit. It did fine. So whenever you have the 3D gizmo up, you can click on W to bring it up, right? So this is your sculpt mode, W, now you have this gizmo, which is just that little orb thing. You can click and drag to get your different degrees. At the bottom here in white, it'll tell you the exact degree you've shifted it. So right now it says -40, and now it's -80, right? If you want to have it snap to an exact degree, just hold down Shift, and it'll click in perfect increments of 45. I think it's actually 22.5 is what it snaps to. Excuse me. Monkey said, oh hey, I just realized the music in the background is different. Yeah, I have 6 different songs that are gonna loop now, so hope you guys enjoy that more. I don't know if I've done a single stream in the last month where I didn't change at least one thing from one stream to another. Oh goodness, I finished my tavern key, or the doors open a while ago. I timed out. I've just been so in the zone. I'm gonna work for a little longer, and then we'll do Tavern Keeper's Craft. I just have a cool thing happening right here. Warm up is working exactly as intended. Isn't that a much more fun shape? I just think this is cool. Just because it needs to be a more generic loot doesn't mean it can't have some interest to it, right? Right now I'm shortening up the string so that I can bridge this gap here. Where are the strings? Where is it going? Oh, there we go. I forgot to clear the mask. Just like that, control drag to clear the mask. Using our gizmo, that little trick that makes it move exactly. There we are. Perfect. And we'll put at our pivot point and rotate it so that it's following into that head as it's supposed to. I am going to sneak in a third or a sixth string here at some point. This is just where we're at for right now. Alright, this has been improved a bit from our starting point. Mostly all at the top here, but definitely looks more interesting and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and take this section here and duplicate it. I'm going to sneak another one up at the top here. Let's lower it. Make that bridge a little smaller. Perfect. Just starting to sneak in some more secondary forms and details. And I'm going to do it a third time, and I'm actually going to use this to be kind of like the joint at this bend. Perfect. All right, on the simpler side, but we're constructing this and it's looking quite nice. Hindsight mentions, before I do too much work with strings, check references. Let's see. A couple of different questions. All right, make sure I'm not going to miss anyone. Yeah, lutes are really interesting. They have a variety of different courses of strings. It's like a guitar, it's just 6, right? Really straightforward. But lutes can have like 10 to 15. I think an odd number was on there once, but that was very odd. It should be even, you'd imagine, because the same amount of tuning forks on both sides. Some of you guys are concerned that stuff is off-centered and you're really on it today. Y'all need to, I appreciate you. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all gonna get taken care of. I'm very aware. We're going for cool shapes right now. Doing the strings is really easy because it's just a rectangle and then you just duplicate it. So I can move them around really easily later on. Don't you guys worry. Reminder that I literally play guitar and restring my guitar. I know what it looks like. Okay. We're going to move on to the main event before we get lost in the sauce of the strings here. I think I'm going to do 12 though. I think it's going to be 12 strings by the time I'm done. It's not going to be 12 strings right here, I'll tell you that right now. But it'll probably be 6. And then I'll have 6 tuning pegs on either side for a total of 12 because it just looks really cool. All right, let's go ahead and get this saved before I forget. And then we're on to the main Tavern Keeper's Craft. All right, this one's gonna be really cool. We're working on this gem dragon today. It's gonna be pretty epic. All right, we have this base scene here. Let's start talking about this. Monkey said some lutes have 15 strings. Yeah, that's kind of as I was saying, and I think that's wild though, because why would it be an odd number? Like I'm the whole point is like tension across like the neck of the guitar is really important. And I would imagine it would need to be symmetrical. So it means it has to have 8 on one side and 7 on the other where those tension points are at the top where the head is. It's so odd. Really cool though. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. Monkey said, okay, I dropped a reference. A tuning peg style looks cool. Okay. Yeah, I like that it's bent down. I like that showing the little gears and the brackets there too. That's really nice. I like it. I like it. Very cool. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe if I get bored of fine-tuning our asset library later and the kind of like the closing part or happy hour today, I'll build that instead. I appreciate you guys being helpful and just putting a bunch of information in. Sometimes you're a little early, but what I needed to do is just let you guys talk about it and I can just ignore you because I know I'm going to take care of it later. Alrighty. let's go ahead and bring in my Dragonborn base. I might need to scrap a good amount of it just because this is going to be a big model. All right, let's get this going. We're somehow going to fit 2 heads on this Dragonborn. We'll see how it goes. He is going to be huge. All right, go to Master Tools, Z Bodies, and then I should have under my animal humanoid some Dragonborn base. Yep, I have a Dragonborn male specifically. I don't remember what this is going to look like. Oh, I do remember you. Okay, well this is a decent start. He's got a really funny like smile. I really dig that. And actually, funny enough, this is from a gem Dragonborn I did a while back. This looks positively tame compared to what we're making today though. All right, well, let's go ahead and build my scene. Let's get our lights going. We've got one here. Let's throw off a warmer light off to the side. And then of course some ambient occlusion. All my favorites. There we go. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and set him over to the side here. And we need to get some poly paint on here. I don't know what color I want to make him. I need to make his shoulders exceptionally wide. We're pretty much gonna have one head above each pec. That's the way I'm gonna try to figure this out. We'll see. Hey, Rob's here. Hello, hello. Monkey said, so most of them are doubled up, 2 strings, then the last one's just a single string. Okay, that makes more sense then. Okay. Hindsight says, yeah, that is interesting. 8 on one side, 7 on the other. Yeah, that is so wild. Music is cool. All right. Let's get my references up. This is gonna be wild. All right, here's the sketch they provided for me. It's definitely giving intense, crazy mini boss. It's awesome. This is from Aiden Klippick. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Hello, I'm looking for a 2-headed gem, half dragon sorcerer / warlock. One side's rockier, the other's more gem-like. Here's a sketch I drew. And then they DM'd me a little bit more detail about like the bulkier draw on one or whatever. But the most important part is that we have it look more or less like this, which is pretty epic and pretty insane. We might do some refining. As you guys know, I never copy stuff directly, and this isn't much of a pose, but it's a really nice reference to get this laid out. Okay, let's get cooking. Yes, it is 2-headed. I always keep like details at over there where it says the model order, today's order, and like kind of like the most important parts. So I'll have 2 heads. It's a warlock and a sorcerer, and one side's more rocky, the other side's more crystalline. It's been pretty epic. Rob says it looks like Ghidorah. I don't know about what that is. I must look. Ghidorah. Oh, absolutely. I'll keep that in mind. And then Hindsight put in a really helpful reference about conjoined twins. And yeah, it's kind of my plan here of having like a head above each pec, essentially. Oh, it's gonna be a tricky one. We're gonna figure it out together though. All right, let's get this going. First thing first, I want to get a color scheme of some sort established. I'm gonna ask you guys for that. What type of gem should be the primary inspiration for the color scheme? If you guys have something that's different than what the poll options are, just feel free to chatter about it in the comments, and I might pick it up if it seems the most popular. I have amethyst, sapphire, obsidian, and emerald. So respectively, purple, blue, black, green. But it's more fun to put them in context of gems since it's very on theme for what we're doing. I really don't want y'all to pick obsidian. If you pick obsidian, I'm going to pick that color and something else because it's just black. And that's really hard to color. So if you do obsidian, I'm probably gonna make it more blue toned. We'll see. If I had to pick a vote here for color, I guess I'd do sapphire. I'm not sure. This one's gonna be bitchin'. Nathan's here. Hi. The excitement and it's gonna be a tricky one is the passion. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Nathan's a good friend of mine from college, and as of now, my main monster hunting buddy. Mini Light says emerald with ruby mixed in key spots. Well, I love some red-green combo. All right, emerald currently in the lead. Ooh, or amber topaz. Oh, I wish I put that in there, like some orange and yellows. That'd be cool. Currently, amethyst is in the lead. I like it. I like it. I'm laughing because my Streamlabs just put both of like my little ads side by side. They're supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes apart. I'm gonna go ahead and just edit that really quick. We're gonna do 45 minutes and an hour. Because Streamlabs can't count. That's okay. I can't count either. That's why I made a bot do it. Alright, let's get going. Medieval says, that model needs a surfboard with those shorts and he's ready to go. Yeah, he's looking a little surfer bro right now. We're gonna fix that. Oh my lord. Streamlabs, stop advertising. Calm down. I made fun of it and now it's like, I just deleted it. Okay. But yeah, check out my Patreon. But you don't need to check it out 5 times. Calm down, Streamlabs. Okay. So it looks like amethyst is in the lead. So we're gonna be doing some purples. I like it. Amethyst and emerald are actually tied right now. I could do a purple green. Is that the same color scheme as Barney? I'll just be careful to not make him look like Barney. We're going to be doing some adjustments to the body as well. I'm going to need these shoulders to be about that wide in order to fit this ridiculous body we have going on. He's going to be tall. It's just going to be epic. Not that tall. Calm down. There we are. All right. Hindsight says, so wide chest and shoulders, slightly scaled down heads, and they're dragons. You could probably get away with elongating their neck slightly. Ooh, I like that. And then kind of keep them away from each other. I like that. Please, anything but Barney. I know, I'm going to do my best. Okay, we're going to focus on the emerald is now in the lead. Okay, we're now doing green. Green is a little easier for me to work with. Monkey is still nerding out in our live stream references on Discord about tuning pegs and guitars and all that good stuff. I like it. Keep doing it. I know I'm still reading it. Alrighty. We're gonna have kind of this diluted green as a base here. And I'll probably contrast it with some purple elements too. I'm gonna come in with my paintbrush, turning drag rectangle, and doing my favorite, which is kind of that two-tone look that I normally do. First, just establishing a base color. I will be closing his mouth too. He's got this really funny like smile. He's not gonna be that friendly. Let's close his mouth and then lower this goofy front face we got going on. I also need to move his eye forward and reshape this a bit. There we go, that's better. All right, that's much spookier already and not just like this goofy grinning fellow. Not quite what we're going for. All right, I'm gonna start merging these heads down. I'm gonna be going through them later and detailing them quite differently. As of right now, I just need to get the proportions correct. Oh, I do have another head, it looks like. Oh, so there's a happy dragon head. I haven't put it happy head in a folder, and then normal dragon head. I did not notice that. Good job, me. I was trying to prevent having to resculpt an expression on a dragon on purpose. But I forgot that it helped me out. Very nice. We're gonna go ahead and check out this other head I have available apparently. Yes, that's gonna be a lot cooler and easier to deal with. I mean, we're gonna have 2 dragons anyway, so I might as well keep both head styles. Let's go ahead and merge these together and get this organized before I get lost. There we go. Because he wants one side to be bulkier and the other to be more sleek. So I'll call this one the sleek one, even though it's not super sleek yet. I was wondering why I had so many subtools. I just did not connect those pieces together. Here we go, and this will be our bulky guy. So we got sleek and we got bulk. I like it. Let's go ahead and move him over. I'll definitely want to elongate these necks, like hindsight suggested. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. Okay. Making some good progress already. And then I'll need to shrink these down a bit, but I also really want to make sure those necks are longer. I'm gonna turn on local symmetry just for the head right here to make the neck a bit longer. Here we go. That'll just make it easier to work with. There we go. You still want to have that normal taper on it though. Perfect. Making it 10% smaller, and I'll do the same treatment to the other head, which is going to be here, 10% smaller. I'm measuring that, this tiny little white number, you see it right there? 1.28 right now, and now it says 0.61. That's proportional to what you're doing. So now it's 40% smaller, now it's 60% bigger. So that's how I know I can go, 1 is unchanged, so I'm gonna go down by 10%, so I'm going to 0.9. Math. That's still too big. We're gonna just do it again. Not math. All right, making it a bit sleeker here. And then that neck needs to be much, much longer. Yeah, and the reference hit the necks are pretty long too. Looks pretty good from the side. These tiny heads are so funny right now. Oh, God. Oh, we're gonna figure it out. We are gonna figure it out. I'll probably do like an inverted color scheme on the other side, where it's flipped. Come on, don't autosave and crash. Autosave and be nice. You just won't touch it. All right. Mini Blaze says, maybe one is fierce and serious, the other is happy or more intelligent to give more character. Yeah, it's gonna have that. He specified all of that. One's gonna be sleeker and like more elegant and serious. The other one's gonna be like bulky, aggressive looking. Hindsight says, a trick to get this sleek, thick contrast would be to invert the trapezoidal shapes on the heads. That makes sense. Wider jaw, narrow forehead, absolutely. Normally I'd worry about making sense, but Mia usually understands my gibberish. Absolutely. And I was even reading like every other word. I'm like, made sense. And then Monkey is now talking about Conso style pegs, which I'm not going to get into. Those are leather rings instead. I love that. Oh, you posted a picture though. I love that you're still going on with this. This is fantastic. Go off. We're all learning something today. All right, let's scroll up a little bit to see those shoulders. All right. We're gonna have one head above each pec. I'm also gonna rotate the head slightly just to give myself some peace of mind because the straight on view is not gonna make any sense. All right, let's scooch you on over here, and then we're gonna make the deltoids and shoulders especially large. Bam. We'll worry about the actual personalities on the heads later. This is just our starting point. The heads are actually a little bit too small, which is okay. That's better. It's also gonna have giant wings. There's really just gonna be a lot going on here. It's fine. It's gonna be cool. Mayblay says, yep, I've never seen either of those types before. Yeah, talking about different like tuning pegs. If you guys were lost in the beginning of the stream, I was working on a lute, and so that's why some residual conversation is still happening from that. All right, we're gonna do, like, this one's really cool in detail, but this is the nicer base that's simple and more closely matches the reference. It's gonna need some shaping and work, but honestly, what isn't on this model? It's gonna be a doozy. Speaking of, that poll is still open as far as colors go. It looks like emerald's in the lead, so that's why I have somewhat of a green color scheme going on here, but there's gonna be a lot more done. All right. Definitely gonna give him large claws to make this more dramatic and help me out with the silhouette, because as of now, he's got little tiny arms. There we go. God, look at his tiny arms, y'all. Let's fix that. First, his hands need to be better defined. We already have some pretty nice fingernails on here, so I'm gonna go with Move Topological to just extend these and reshape them nicely. So I'm kind of just using my move brush carefully here. I'm making the nail longer, adding a bit of a curve, a small smooth, and then pushing it back on. If you haven't used the move brush for thousands of hours like I have, if you go to do this, you're gonna be like, why is it working when you do it? Special clicking, lots and lots of finessing. The move brush is your friend. You just have to know exactly how it works. I use Alt a lot when using my move brush, which actually inverts the direction it's going to be moving based on like the normal that you're on. You can absolutely do it though, just mess around with it. Just don't be discouraged if you go to mess with it and you're like, this is not working the same way. It will work, I promise. Just requires a little bit of finessing. There we are. Perfect. Sweet. Hands look much nicer now. We're going to make him a touch lower, and now we're going to extend the arms so that they actually fit. I'm going to mask under the deltoid, so from the bicep lower, because it's not going to affect his shoulder when you make the arms longer. I'm going to grab my transpose line, because it works a little better for these deformations, and stretch that down. Much nicer. His arms are still on the small side, but they're not teeny tiny arms anymore. That's looking a lot better. He actually has a bit more of that strongman body type that we created for Thor on a few streams back. I like that. Gonna make his feet a little bit taller. To do this right here, I'm actually using the move brush again, but with back face mask, which is cool because it's only gonna affect one side. It's not gonna pull through the mesh. So if I click and drag left to right, that's with back face mask. This is without back face mask. Sometimes just showing you guys the difference is more powerful than trying to explain it in some convoluted way. All right, we're gonna define the knees a bit better. Move them out, over. Sweet. Looking pretty cool. This is gonna be a really fun one because a lot of it, he doesn't wear a whole lot of clothes. He's got like a belt and like a modesty tabard. That's pretty much it. What that means is if I spend a lot of time making an interesting body here, it's gonna be really worth spending time into it because I can save it for later. All right, I don't need a breastplate or anything because we're not going to cover up this epic scaly chest we're going to be sculpting later. And I don't think he has a hat or any fun stuff like that. I do have some different dragon heads right here. That might be nice for me to use later. Like, this is kind of a fun shape. Sculpted a lot of dragons. So I got a library of heads. I'm going to go ahead and append that Dragonborn head in case I want to use it later for this more sleek side. You know what? I'm certain I'm going to want to use this one rather than what we have here, because these are looking a little too samey. Let's go ahead and fill that object. Ooh, we got some gnarly topology at the bottom, don't we? Take care of that later. He does not have eyeballs. Don't worry about it. He will. Later. Right now I'm kind of just sizing him up. Roughly. Here we go. I'm gonna turn on transparency to really kind of line these up the best that I can. I'm gonna get kind of clever with these spikes here too, to probably use them as like built-in pre-supports. If you're new here, everything that I design on stream actually gets 3D printed. I have a bunch of 3D prints off to the side of me. If you guys want to see them, just let me know and I'll put them on camera. But yeah, I do different releases every single week on Patreon. My little bot is probably putting that in the chat every now and then, so just keep an eye out. All right, there we go. Now we have two heads that are looking more different. I need to make this neck skinnier. Oh, you're looking kind of weird now. Less lines. More swoopy. And I don't want these ones up front. There we go. Perfect. I'll check on you guys in the chat in just a moment here. I can see, I don't see my name being tagged, so I think I'm good. Monkey says, I can talk music all day, man. Yeah, I can tell you're passionate about it. I love that. I didn't know you used to travel and play. How cool. All right. Oh, and then Hindsight did a helpful sketch just for mini blades. How nice. Very, very cool. Seeing how there's like that extra muscle group in between the shoulder blades. Interesting. But the wings would mess with all of that. This is true. If you guys want to see the really cool conversation going on in our Discord, check out the channel live stream references. And that's where we kind of have our secondary conversation happening in addition to the chat here on YouTube. Oh yeah, he's definitely going to have an 8-pack. Absolutely. Mini Blaze says, it's okay, I'm learning about muscles, 2 heads, and wings. It's a very educational day here at the M3DM Tavern. Alrighty. I did keep the other head just in case, because now that I have this one here, I don't like it as much. But it might grow on me as it sits here. Any shapes I want to take from this? No, I don't think he needs hair. I think we're good on that. What about pants? All right, he's gonna have a tabard. That is right. We have our stream called, obviously right now it says M3M Tavern, but I misspelled it tabard once, and so it's kind of an ongoing joke. But it's very funny because tabard is a thing, like a piece of armor. I've never connected that. It's spelled differently, of course. Totally put me on like a little infinite loop there. Okay. we're gonna grab this long loincloth thing. I'm gonna call it something different so I don't trip myself out again. That will work just fine. I do like the ones with runes though. I'm gonna create this like belt, this intricate belt for this character. This is a nice metal piece to start with. Kind of get it on the darker, bluer tones. Because he's probably not gonna have pants. Hey, Corey's here. Hello, welcome. Mini bites. What if his horns were a bit longer, more pronounced? Wow, they're way down the line. Maybe. I'm working. I'm kind of like, so it's hard to give me recommendations while I'm in this blockout phase because I don't stay anywhere very long. I'm like just keep hopping, like in a big circle. So when we get back to the heads, sure. As of now, it's belt time. All right, grab this tabard. And fill that object. Perfect. Maybe a bit wider. And he has like these little sashes as well. Kind of neat. Do I have any on here that I want to use? I don't think so. No. I do like this piece though. That's cool. I want to incorporate that probably. It looks kind of gem-esque. So I'm just going to grab that because it's a cool texture. And I'm going to delete everything else from my asset library. And now I'm on my own. Alrighty. Corey says, hi Mia, I just checked out your mini infinite loop of tabard. Yeah, seeing it written is giving me a lot of peace. Mayvi says, I'm getting better at the detail understanding. I'm still trying to follow what needs to be done and block out and can't wait for detail. I'm getting better at it. It's tricky, especially because I'm using this asset library, which arguably introduces very detailed elements very quickly. It can be hard to, follow along. You're definitely doing a good job though. All right, so currently winning our color pull is emerald, shortly followed by amethyst. I am gonna do like mostly emerald, but we'll also do some amethyst gems throughout. Very good. Very rarely are your suggestions not like awesome and on the point. Mini blades, it's just they're not gonna get done for a while, that's all. But they totally could get done in that order. That's just not where my brain's at. Every artist kind of has a different way that they cycle through and keep working on their piece. For the most part, I recommend not getting too bogged down in one area at a time and kind of cycling through the entire design. But there's totally artists that will just pinpoint on one style and they kind of work like a printer and they just start at the top super detailed and they just work all the way down. Sometimes I do sculpt like that too. There's no like hard rules for it. I want to be careful that it never sounds like I'm saying like this is the way to do things, because there's very rarely ever one way to do something. I think this texture is fun, so I'm gonna kind of just add a few of them, especially because they're very gemmy. I like the tabard reference that the guy gave a lot, so I'm gonna kind of create that right now. right, it had 2 spikes on the side, kind of like a lizard tongue almost. Kind of French that up, and then ziri mesh more. Always more ziri mesher. Not, okay, too much ziri mesher. Alright, we both know I'm gonna have to do this correctly later, so why not just do it correctly now? Boo. There we go. All right, I'm creating this tabard, it's my least favorite word now, piece right here. Getting some clean topology on here, just takes a couple of ziri mesh. If it's really silly, what you can do is go to your geometry tab here, edge loop, and put in some panel loops if you're gonna be adding thickness. If you don't wanna do that, I recommend doing group loops. But anyway, that adds some more geometry just to the edge of your material. So then when we go to ziri mesh again, it throws way less of a fit and it generally gives you much better results. Yeah, much nicer. We still have some triangle nonsense. There we go, that's better. But overall, works pretty good. All right, that's working. And now we have some really interesting like side sashes to create. So I'm gonna do this outside symmetry and we're gonna mask a little piece on here and then extract it off. Let's and get some clean topology going. There we go. So these are kind of like little swooshy fabric details we're sculpting right now. There's a word I'm looking for. I think it's sash. We'll see. There's way too many of these. I was having fun with it, but now that they're all here, I don't like them as much. Let's just make them smaller for now. Meh. That's better. Hey, Nerd's here. Welcome, welcome. Mini Boy says, ooh, do my reference without the shirt. Oh, for the tabard? I might, but I like the sketch that they provided a lot, so I think I'm gonna follow that. Mini Boy, thanks me, I've learned a lot. Of course, of course. Nerd says, what was up with the no mic streams last week? I could not tune in, but I saw the alerts. Oh, it's just on the weekend. So, I have a schedule for that. Boop. Schedule. Yeah, on the weekend, I think it's fun to still hang out with you guys, but that way you can like have the stream on, maybe like, I don't know, enjoy your coffee, get some art done yourself. It's just a much more low-key, mellow stream versus like Monday through Friday, which is like a more produced show. So yeah, there we go. Monday through Friday, polls, chatting, creativity, exchanging. But on the weekends, really kind of cozy, kickback vibe. I can really just focus on my work and encourage you guys to do the same. It's really a fun time. I had a few people that as I was working, they were working on their own pieces of art or just work in general and sharing that in the Discord. It's kind of like a study hall almost, is the best way to put it. Looking at our live stream reference channel, looking good. But I'll be doing those like kind of special like cozy silent tavern streams this weekend as well. Of course, you guys are always invited. All right, let's get this looking good. I think the best way to do this is to detail one fairly well and then actually do a couple layers of these. So let's get that fabric going. I'm going to add some thickness to it, always with a negative offset, which means it's going to be going towards the body, not away from it. That just preserves the silhouette that I spent time sculpting. We don't want too many smooth subdivs. There we go. I'm going to extrude a really simple edge detail here. Extrude polyloop. So kind of like a seam that goes around the exterior of it. There we go. Subdivide a few times, and now we're going to detail this fabric using my standard brush. I like using standard with the lazy radius turned on, and kind of just pull some swoopy, swooshy shapes. If I do a stroke that I like, I can click number 1 on my keyboard and will automatically repeat that stroke. It's nice because I don't have to keep changing the intensity of my brush, which is right here. The Z intensity is just the strength of your brush. But by using that like one click trick, I essentially have like double the power of my brush without having to go through here and manually click and drag the Z intensity back and forth. All right, we got some structure happening here. And then we're gonna kind of have this fold crease over itself right here. There we go. And I can build up the form just a touch more by holding down Alt and pulling a sharper fabric fold on the edges here. Very nice. I like how that turned out. And that's kind of what I was thinking, is I can take this piece right here and then duplicate some copies underneath it. And that'll give us the best, like, layered appearance. And never forget, you can always just use more subtools whenever needed. Instead of trying to like fake the illusion of like you're sculpting layers on top of each other, just literally make separate meshes that layer. Makes your job much easier. There we go. Perfect. All right, we have quite a bit of detail coming into this model now. Excited about this. It's a wild one. Maybe says that outline is perfect for a big gem. I agree. Let's go ahead and get our gem brush in here. Yeah, in the reference they even have like a oval. I'm a big fan of pear shape though. And then these little gem things, I like the idea of what I was trying to do there. Now that it's here, I don't like it. It's too busy. Delete. And these can be a bit shorter. I might not even have them there at all. In the reference, he doesn't have pants. Make this knee a bit taller. And he's going to need some more detail on the body. So let's go ahead and define the knees a touch more. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but right now these perfectly smooth knees are weirding me out. Alright, making progress. it's such a big model with so many different components. We'll be working on this one for a while. Currently, we're starting to approach the halfway point in our Tavern Keeper's Craft, and then after that I'll take a little bit of a break and then come back with Happy Hour. Happy Hour today is probably going to be either finishing up the loot or maybe even just updating my asset library. I have a lot of pieces I've saved off, but I haven't quite organized them into my library yet. Alright, trying to organize these pieces right here and seeing if our belt is its own piece already. If I have a copy of it, it's not a big deal. I can just split it off later. I would like if the gem was separate. Perfect. Gems can be purple since amethyst is leading in our pull right now. Let's go ahead and merge that down. There we go. The poly paint does not affect the resulting 3D printable model, but it does help me kind of organize details and concepts here. Wolf is here, now newly named No One Paint. Just got back from lunch and getting new glasses. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're doing great. All right. Mini Blaze. Oh, on the pose you can do expanded wings like he's gonna fly. I'm not gonna do that because it is used as a mini. If it was like a mini boss, that'd be perfect, like on a big base. But in this case, this is someone's player character, I think, as wild and overpowered as he looks. And it'd be really hard to use him if his space takes up like 4 squares on the mat. You totally can, but I like to have my designs as versatile as possible. All right, it's time to start working more on the body again. That is something that's kind of tricky to balance too, like making interesting poses, but ones that are still playable. It's definitely tricky. Mini Blaze says, "Oh, I thought you said it was a boss." I did not, but it is epic. I wonder if that is what they're going to use it for or not. I'm not certain. Either way, I do try to keep it more or less contained on the base. He's definitely epic enough to be a boss, though. So maybe I did say that. I'm not sure. Right now I'm just having fun with the poly paint, kind of taking a small like creative break, literally just painting his nails while I'm thinking about what is next for this model. I think it's time to start working more on the body. Yeah, it's time. Okay, let's get this going. Weapons, or is he a magic type? He is half warlock and half sorcerer, so magic. I could give him like a tome of some sort. I'm gonna come in with my clay brush and start adding more volume. It's going to be quite sculpted. And then there's also going to be like a rock gem crystalline component to this too. I don't know if I'm going to have room for an 8-pack. We'll show where there's room, what there's room to show. A breath weapon could be really cool too. So gem dragons are interesting. So like this is like the difference I found online. Unlike their chromatic and metallic cousins, gem dragons wield powerful psionic abilities, letting them attack mines and move objects with sheer thought. So yeah, they're definitely more on the magical side versus just brute force, contrary to what his gigantic ripped body is going to tell you. It's happening. Hindsight, if you're still lurking, I want to say thank you for helping me with the body when designing Thor, because you can kind of tell already I'm getting that like strongman body a lot faster and more confidently than the first time that I attacked that. Now let's do more of a taper upwards. I think I'm actually going to move these heads up. Let's go ahead and merge them together, make them a little larger and a little taller. That way we can get more like this mountain effect where he's like really tall, and we can develop the lats. I really haven't dealt with his back at all, since that's going to be a whole other interesting thing to get all those muscles working. I'm still going to look closely at Hindsight's. Ooh, that's helpful. Man, like right on the money. Hindsight put a fantastic reference into the live stream reference channel on our Discord. Heck yeah. Oh, Polymaker's here. Hi and welcome. Do you design any miniatures specifically for FDM printing or just resin? I do. I did a whole collection that was mimics. Let me throw that Kickstarter in there because I'm really proud of it. I released this actually just last year, so kind of on the recent side. Every single picture that you see in this was FDM printed. I'm gonna call it FDM Party. That's just mimics. All these models are available at my Patreon too. Reaper says, he's so wide. I love it. Yeah, as Mucky says, he be chiseled. I appreciate you guys all saying hi to Polymaker too. I'm very proud. My peasants are very friendly. But yeah, welcome to the tab room. All right, I need to just exactly detail what Hindsight did because it's awesome. It's very helpful. I love that you did a single and a duo side by side. If you guys aren't in our Discord, you need to be, because the references are on fire and we have a lot of like resident peasant artists in the chat that sketch stuff as I live stream and I end up sculpting them. So you can kind of see like what I'm looking at and what I'm recreating. It's quite the collaborative art party here. Taylor says, he kind of reminds me of Donatello with the colors. I don't know who that is, but I want to know. Donatello. He sounds like a mob boss. He is not a mob boss. He is oh my god, it's a fucking turtle. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Awesome. Oh, awesome. It first brought up like, you know, what is this? Ancient Italian... A Florentine sculptor is the name is from, an Italian sculptor. But I'm assuming you're talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, all of you guys in the chat being like, duh, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You guys crack me up. I went on a little adventure and you guys got to see it. You're welcome. Alright, let's get this back doing its thing. Alright, Hindsight says first, it's like Simon, instead of Simon says, it's Hindsight says. First, we do the lats. And that looks like that, roughly. And then this thing fits underneath it. Yes. Yes, that's kind of a trickier one to connect there. And then there's a little grouping that keeps all this together again. Yes. And then these big wings here next to the spine. Come on, there needs to be a line right there. I really should up my resolution, but I refuse. All right. So you see, I'm doing all of this just with the clay brush and with Jam Standard. A lot of my students get so excited about all the different brushes in ZBrush and they want to buy brushes and get custom ones. You can, but just know you really, really don't need to. I use like 3 brushes to sculpt everything. Admittedly less exciting than having like 50, but I might as well bulk up his, what the heck is this? Tricep? Yes, biceps on the front. Listen, arms are very complicated. All right, he's gonna be, so there's no nice transitions right now. We literally just like carved this stuff in. But we can start fitting the wings in like little puzzle pieces. Oh, that's not a puzzle piece. Because it also gives me a lot of volume to connect the wings to, which I'm a huge fan of. Because again, since these are all 3D printed, we want it nice and solid. It's looking pretty cool, yeah? Hindsight, she's too young for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excuse me, sir, I am almost 30. I'll be 29 this year. Probably good mob boss too. Corey, definitely a mob boss. Oh god. Hindsight says, I cut my teeth on superheroes, so muscle anatomy is kind of my jam. Yeah, no shit, this is awesome. I really appreciate it. I have a book over there that it's anatomy for sculptors. I really have no excuse to not be even better at it. I'm getting better. Always getting better. All right, skim through the chat. We have a good variety going on here. I'm also gonna get our next poll going. All right, so the poll results, we have 50% lead on Emerald, somewhat followed by Amethyst, but not really. I'll keep that in mind. Mini Blaze, yeah, but the book isn't doing any good over there while you're here. I know. I know. All right, this is gonna be more about the wings, which I haven't done a lot. We have some different ways. I would like for the wings to look more magical and intentional. We can do a classic dragon shape with embedded stones. I think that would be nice. It's kind of like the safe bet. But I was thinking we could also do more bat-like and torn, reflecting the dark warlock magic. Because again, he's half warlock, half sorcerer. Another option is we could just make the wings entirely crystalline, forged from large crystal fragments. Let me know what you guys are most excited about and what you think fits this character best. All right, that poll is coming up soon. All right, perfect. You got those 3 options going up right now. Hindsight says, artists have to have the biggest desks ever. Monitor, tablet, books, drinks, a million other distracting bits of random shit. That is so true. So true. I'm gonna give you guys like a little desk tour at some point. I don't know how much my camera moves. Let's see. Let's do a desk tour at the moment, just really quick. Hello, that's my face. But yeah, I actually have a giant screen here. There's my Cintiq. And then as I come over, oh my gosh, my camera's flipped. That's right. I have it mirrored. Anyway, I also have my Dragon Age collector's edition box right there. And then monitor, it's mounted, and my MacBook right here. So yeah, and then of course, way up here, I have my mic that's floating above my head. Sorry, my camera's pretty zoomed in, so it's a very chaotic tour. But you guys got to see something, kind of. I'll post a picture in Discord later. Alrighty. And yeah, my desk is gigantic, and it's still not enough sometimes, I swear. It's funny, when we were buying these desks, Ricky picked them out, And I was like, they seem way too big. I really like fought him on it. And I was like, okay, if you're really confident in it, we'll do it. And now I'm like, could be bigger. I'm gonna turn on back face mask and we're gonna add some detail, some plates to the tail here, just really quick. Body's looking pretty good. I did not develop this though. There's another muscle group here in deltoid. I'm not connecting them very nicely, but with my limited knowledge, it's looking good. Good enough. Smooth that transition a bit, and then add a little more tapering volume from the top down. There we go. That's a bit better. I really like how the wings interact with it. That's pretty cool. I kind of forgot about this top part. Hindsight says, what mic do you use? I might have to get a boom mic. I have no idea where to start. Yes. Ricky. He has AirPods in, so it's gonna be loud. What is this mic?
Rode Video Micro.
He's making confused faces.
Rode.
Are you putting in the chat?
I was just Googling it to make sure. Yeah, the Rode Video Micro.
And that's Rode, R-O-D-E?
Yeah.
Alright, put in the chat too.
Video Micro. There's a newer version of it out now. That's probably a little bit better, same price.
Okay.
So go for Video Micro 2.
Very nice. Reaper, I just want to have a desk. That reminds me of that, oh my god, Fairly Odd Parents from way back. Anyway. Let's keep on going. And then I'm missing a couple pieces here because I did the single head anatomy essentially. I didn't do that as much the duo where I need to split it apart. So I can go ahead and do that. At first it was so nice to make it look like it makes sense, you know? It was so nice. But there obviously is this other one here, which has like this cool duo thing happening. In theory, I should be able to just scoot this over. Yeah. And then we're gonna kind of just do a deep cut right here. Just as like a, kind of like a construction line almost. And then that's gonna split. Yeah. That was a really interesting noise, Maverick. Wow. Having the split right here, more than anything, is kind of just like a neat detail to paint. And then there's another one that splits here. I'm running out of polys. And I can kind of take these up. Kind of becoming more of like an eldritch horror thing the way I'm constructing these, like almost like tentacles, but I think it's cool. And then this really should sit farther on the side. Yeah, like that. Hindsight says thank you. Alright, the back here is madness. Overall, happy with it? Could ignore it for a little bit now because I'm like, oh my goodness, that is an interesting anatomy problem to solve. Alright, and then from the front, we need more work done. Alright, we just passed the halfway point of our Tavern Keeper's Craft, and then it'll be happy hour. It'll be fun. Oh, and then Mini Blaze put a link to that Rode microphone. Thank you, Mini Blaze. Also, we have that new poll going that will determine the shape and the design of the wings. Current classic dragon shape with gems is winning, which is pretty much the dragon wings I have currently, but I will be studying them with gems. Kind of like they're being like dripping down the wings. It'll be pretty cool. Alright, I really can't do too much more to this body without just digging into these, oh boy, this is like the rock texture. This is going to be where it gets kind of tricky. I really need to get the secondary forms blocked out first. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. I made some rocks yesterday, which are really simple to transform into crystals. And we're going to be using both. We're going to use rocks and crystals for this. Annoyingly, it's different on each side, which I say annoyingly because it means it's double the work. Where is my rock trio? There it is. You guys will recognize this from yesterday's stream, where I designed that rock elemental horse with it. We've made a lot of progress. If you're just tuning in, hi, my name is Mia. I'm part of M3DM, which is Mia's 3D Models. And by part of, I mean that's it. It's me and my husband. So on the left side of the screen here is kind of this base mesh I made a while back we started with. And then now we have this monstrosity. Pretty cool. It's a request on Patreon. So my whole business is that I take requests and then I make them 3D printable models. Usually for tabletop games, but some people just like really cool two-headed dragon statues in their living room. And that pays my bills, so I'm pretty happy. If you want to put in your own request, that is available on Patreon. Alright, so essentially the rocks are going to look like this, and then the gems are going to look like this. It's pretty simple. I'll add more tapers to make that more believable, but that's the gist of it. Alright, I believe the crystalline side is the sleeker side, if I remember correctly. The left side is more rocky with rigid gems, yes. And more bulky and aggressive, yes. The right is more sleek and cunning. Perfect. I got it right the first time. Very good. So kind of put these little building blocks on the left and the right so I can remind myself to kind of grab from them as needed. God, this guy looks insane. This is a big one. The wings need to be even larger because why not? Kind of just thinking here my game plan. Now the reference, he doesn't have shorts. I definitely think he needs them. I'm gonna make this a bit more of the crystalline side by coming in with my pinch brush. Really just more dramatic tapers is what's gonna make this look like a crystal. There you go. Nice and simple. Trying to decide how separate I'm gonna make the two sides. Hindsight, have you shown the reference or did I miss it? You might have missed it. I did show it earlier, but not very long, so this is the insane reference we're dealing with. As you can tell, I've avoided a lot of these secondary tiny rock forms because it's just going to muddy up the design. I am going to add a lot of them, but for now, I just need to get the general shape, which we kind of have achieved right now. It's time to start tackling this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make sure I'm starting to define these secondary forms on the feet and the shoulders and the elbows and the hips. Once all those points are established, I'll come in and deal with all of this texturing on the pecs and individual muscles in the neck. I mean, the heads are pretty much totally ignored for right now. This guy's a monster. So yes. Yes, it is possible to bring references into ZBrush. I just don't need it. But yes, I have many monitors. Corey, whoa, half rock, half gem. Right? Yeah. Mini blades. His horns on that one look a little bit longer. They're mini blades, stop it. I know you, I've told you like 3 times. You know, I know. You're messing with me. The heads are literally placeholders. They're not done at all. They're actually from previous projects. I think this was, the one on the left, was actually used for my tax accountant Dragonborn. I did a townsfolk collection where there was like, you know, the tax collector, and I'm pretty sure that's what this dragon on the left was. The one on the right is from my pirates collection. I also reused that for a cleric. Keeping the legs look straight in the reference. Yeah, they do look straight in the reference, but I'm overruling that because I think it looks weird. Otherwise, it just looks like a buff dude with dragon head on him, you know? Mini blades, can you take a minute and show us how to? I'm using my laptop, not monitor. Oh man, I haven't. So it's using Spotlight. So you'll go into texture and you'll load your image right here under texture. So it'd be import and you pick your image. And then after you have that there, you click on Z on your keyboard to enable Spotlight. Lord, I have not done this in so long. There's that. Yeah, and you can edit and bring in that menu. You can also do it where you load in it as your different like background panels, or if you're really lazy, all you can do, you can just put your reference behind your application ZBrush and then toggle see-through. See? You can see my nice background here. It's so nice. So yeah, just Google Spotlight. Mini blades, or he has custom artificial legs. I mean, I can't tell if he's even, it could totally be artificial. Kind of reminds me of the rock horse we did yesterday where it's like, is it a Dragonborn or is it just the earth spirit that's trying to look like a dragon? All right, I need to stop putting this off and develop the sides of this. All right. So the heads are going to look different, but as far as the texture on each side of the body, I'm not sure how different it's going, like how clearly different it's going to be. We'll see. Decimation master, use and keep polys. Let's keep this at 1,000 points or under. Hindsight put in a great reference. That's some beautiful art of different types of gem dragon wings. Very nice. Corey says, I love that background. Me too. It's the default. So right now I'm kind of building, giving him shoes made of crystals. That's pretty much what's going on here. So notice I made a group here of 3, and then I can repeatedly take that grouping and duplicate and move it around. And if I want to get more specific with it, they are individual pieces, so I can still click and drag them. It's a small time saver. Use all the tricks as you can. Alright, we got one spiky foot. I'm definitely going to make it so it fits his leg better. As of now, it's kind of sitting off the sides a little too much. Really easy way to do that is just to pick a center point with your gizmo and make it smaller. So before, after. There we go. Have some gem detailing there. Kind of move a couple of them around so it looks a little more scattered. There we go. I really neglected the back side of it though. So let's add some gems on his hocks. There we go. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to duplicate this mirror and I'm going to color it rock color. Obviously it looks the same. Texture wise, let's not be lazy. I'm going to come through here and delete some of the smaller crystals. There we go. And then I'm going to shorten up the entire mesh, which is going to make it look more rocky. So like this, make them larger and then shorter. Even shorter. There we go. That's going to help make them look different. I still need to be moved around. I might need to come in with the rock brush, but I think, yeah, that's definitely looking rockier than just big crystals. I just want to be different enough in the silhouette so when they come in to paint it, it's going to make sense. With a request this epic and big, I know the guy's going to paint it. It's going to be awesome. So I want to make sure I'm doing my best, doing my part. There we go. All right, that definitely looks rockier and that looks more crystally. Beautiful. I'm gonna try and make him look a little bit bulkier by inflating him just a touch and then coming in with my clay polish feature right here. Nope, too crystally. Just inflate. Yes. All right, that worked out pretty well. Okay. Minifly says, oh, you could use the pattern like you did for the hooves on the deep bound. Absolutely. It's kind of what I'm doing like feathers on a draft horse. That's a reference to yesterday's stream. All right, let's just take this entire mesh, duplicate it, and we're going to place it on the shoulders. Going to move it in front of the body, rotate it, and see if I can use these. It's kind of like these really cool shoulder pads. Gonna need some shaping. But we have a good starting point right here. This is totally working. Awesome. That makes me happy. And because each one of these pieces is like separate, I can click on auto groups, and that's why it turns like rainbow when I have my wireframe on, and I can isolate specific ones and delete them really quickly. So that way I'm only left with all the pieces that make the most sense for this area of the body. I'm going to make this a bit wider so it really complements that deltoid, and do the same thing for the other shoulder. you've been lurking and hanging out during the stream, having a good time, one, thanks for being here. And two, this is probably a good time to look up. We have a pretty good update so far in the design, how it's all looking. Pretty happy with it. Corey says, well, it says your job, Mia. You should always do your best, right? I don't know. Do you guys do your best at your job? But no, I guess you're, yeah, I do. All right. Really, really happy with this. It's coming together. I'm gonna duplicate this form yet again and kind of create almost like a forearm bracers. The catch with these is they kind of run up the arm instead of down, so I'll need to be careful with the way they overlap. I definitely need to delete a lot of the smaller pieces because they're gonna get a little busy. Alright, I deleted most of it, which means it's probably not working anymore, and I should just take my time and do this last bit by hand. I can do that. This will run kind of towards the back side of the elbow. Let's kind of take this shape here and drag it up. One, two. Now that I have both of these shapes here, I should be able to come in with my Move Topological brush and add some variety to this by clicking and dragging. Yeah, I think that was a pretty clever and fast way to do that. Let's move it down further on the hand so it blends a bit better. And the whole thing needs to be smaller and more inset to the hand. Overall, pretty happy with that. It's gonna need a little bit more work in shaping, but we're at a good starting point. Now I'm doing the exact same treatment on the other side to resemble rocks. Which pretty much all I do is I make them stouter and less spiky than the crystals, and it works out pretty well. And there we are. Coming out nice. Alright, so these are kind of those secondary forms, nice and developed. From here, I'm going to start doing some finer details. That's going to blend all of this together. I think I also want some of these forms on its hips. So I'm going to toy with that really quick, and then we'll move on to the finer details. We're quickly closing in on happy hour, though. Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm glad I tried that out. All right, this next part's gonna be wild because I'm gonna have to come through here and carve a lot of these shapes out by hand. Be brave. First thing to do is come through with H polish and just make some of these forms a bit flatter because the whole model is going to look rocky. The back already looks pretty nice. It's really just this front that we got some stuff to figure out. So figure it out we shall. Defining the collarbones a bit more dramatically so it's easier to set these giant dragon heads on the mesh. It's a fun model because it presents so many anatomical issues. Not only is it like a lizard man, so you got these like digitigrade legs, you also have a tail and wings, huge proportions, and then 2 heads to boot, as well as half sorcerer and half warlock. There's a lot going on. I am very grateful that they provided the sketch. Otherwise, I'd be like, are you sure you want this? Corey says, I'm interested to see how you blend the heads into the body. Essentially, I'm going to have a bunch of like scaled plates. And they're going to look like this. Assuming this doesn't fight me. Stop fighting me. I just want to show them a thing. Here we go. It's gonna be a bunch of plates like this. They'll run up or down. And there's gonna be another one at the base here. And then this seam right here is obviously gonna be gone. We're a little ways off from that, but now you have a little quick preview. Especially because the entire model is gonna be so rocky and textured. I don't have to worry about being like perfectly blended, if that makes sense. It's gonna be neat. We do have some really cool plates I can start to create here. So maybe I'll do like another layer of primary, secondary, and tertiary shapes. Some of these get a little fungusy, so I think the only ones that are really going to benefit us here is really the one that I've already selected. This is supposed to be an animal nose, but I think it would look nice in the center to kind of define this guy. Interesting. We got options. Corey says, awesome, thanks for the preview. You are more than welcome. All right, this poll was a total blowout. You guys want classic dragon shape with gems. I'm on it. Oh, I guess no, 8% behind was Batwing Torm. Not a blowout. Just kidding. But there was a winner. We're gonna do the classic dragon shape with gems embedded in it. And now I'm going to ask the final poll before we wrap up and move into happy hour. Like always, thank you guys for, contributing your creative ideas and just generally being awesome. For our last poll for the Tavern Keeper's Craft, it is what magical detail should be incorporated into the model? Because there's so much going on here, we need more going on. More is more. Just kidding. I think it's gonna really help bring it together. I was thinking about adding inscribed runes on the body somewhere. Maybe like a big rune on the chest. Crackling magical energy between the horns. Might be a little chaotic, but it would kind of serve as like built-in supports. Not on the horns that are currently here. The heads are not done. A spellbook on the hip. Or chains or sigils binding its power. I just think chains from the wings or from the shoulders would be kind of cool. So I'll put broken chains. From the wings. Okay. I'm gonna remove the magical energy from the horns. It's gonna be too small of a detail. All right, so we got what magical detail should be incorporated on the model. We'll say, yeah. Inscribed runes in the body, a spell book on hip, or broken chains hanging from the wings. I think all of those could be fun. Aloha's here. Hey, welcome. Reaper. He just looks more like the Hulk now. What? Is it because he's green and angry? You're not wrong. Now I'm paranoid about tattering the shorts because now it's really going to be a Hulk. What is no? I don't know why it put no in as an option. Don't vote for no. Unless you guys mean none of them, I guess. Then you know what we want for all of them. Oh, YouTube. I was going to have a second option there that was like crackling magical energy between the horns, but I decided to not put it, so I deleted it. And instead of just putting it as a blank option or like scooting the rest of them up, YouTube just put in the word no, which is super, super funny. No was not supposed to be a voting option, but there is an option just to say no. Oh, this is looking insane. Very cool. I do want some fun texturing, like rock layering. I have some fancy brushes for that I haven't used because I really got them to do bases. Because usually rocks are not on dragons. Okay, let's see what this bedrock texture looks like. Is this gonna make my life easier, or is it just gonna be lemon, difficult lemon? Okay, yeah, I don't like that. No in this case is a suggestion. This is true. Oh, the rock debris could be really cool. It kind of just... Yeah. Okay. This is going to make my life easier, I think, guys. This is exciting. Less pain for Mia. I like it. This looks more like... I don't know. Leprosy. Okay, that's better. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a lot of sculpting still. But it's a start. Ooh, there we go. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Okay. Mia is excited about this. This is very exciting. This is going to make my life 1,000% less painful and tedious detailing this absolute monstrosity. Thank God. I was like, this model's about to be like a 2-week model. But it's so cool. Like, I want to do my best, you know? What's cool with this brush is I think I can do this right here, and if I make it more intense and change the color, I can get a sharper texture on the other side. Isn't that cool? That's the same brush, but just used differently. Yeah. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad. All right, let's make this really intense. Less intense. And then we're gonna draw a mask so it doesn't get all goofed up with our rock. And then I can kind of use this to create like little crystal abs. Not what I was like intending to do with this brush, but now that it's an option, I feel like I gotta. Let's see if it's gonna look good at all. Let's decrease that, smooth this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, I forgot to rotate the brush right here, so it looked a little too samey. Oh, I didn't rotate it again. Come on, Mia. There we are. It's working. It's gonna be a huge pain still, but it is possible. I knew I bought this brush for a reason. Can I kind of just quickly detail the body since I have this beautiful thing working beautifully? And then I can kind of take a step back and think more about it, because as quickly as I did it, I can undo it as well. Really gonna have to do the head soon. Heads soon. It's a little harder to get that direction working correctly here, but nothing I can't figure out. It's a little bit of happy masking and rotating. Cute. I think this is where color spray is really going to come in handy, because I have a lot of different colors here that need to blend. And I don't want to spend a year and a half painting this. Alright, it's time to make these at least 2 separate pieces. Yep, you're still going to be a ton of work. But now I have help, so that's good. I think it'd be fun if his eyes were like glowing, like a neon purple. Roughly in that spot. He doesn't even have eyeballs right now, so we'll handle that when we get there. Alright, now I want the wings to be like really simple and just like all black, because this design is insane and drawing a lot of attention as it is, which means other things need to be simpler. The tabard looks so simple and boring now. It is not starting to look like Barney. You guys are psychotic. I don't know what kids show you were watching. Alright, let me kind of scroll up here. Corey says, I stepped away for like 2 seconds and now he's looking crazy, right? That is what I do. When it comes together fast. Aloha. I love Barney. I love, like, many ways it's all mad that looks like Barney, though it doesn't. Meanwhile, Loa's like not even mad about it. I love that. Alright, we need to detail this tabard now because it's so simple and plain compared to this monster. Right. Good. He's still looking mostly green, which is good. So we're supposed to have like an amethyst emerald thing going on here. If I remember right, Emerald 1 too. So granted, it doesn't matter because the 3D print's just going to be the same color unless you guys paint it. But I do my best to stick to the poll options. And now I'm kind of simplifying the color scheme in some areas. It's looking pretty awesome though. He's a hot mess. And now I have to do his heads at this point. Luckily Tavern Keeper's Craft is over, so I'm out. I don't have to do that right now. Sweet. Because I'm like, that's going to be tricky to design these dragon heads to complement all this party we got going on here. Wow, when did this happen? Did I do this? I know it's all on the stream, but I'm like, that did happen fast. Just a good, friendly art possession. I like it. Well, you can't say he looks boring, that's for sure. You request something insane, you're gonna get something insane. Think you could request a better dragon? You should. I have a new request board every single month, but everything gets accepted unless you request something ridiculous like the Empire State Building. I'm not gonna sculpt the Empire State Building, but I will sculpt your two-headed dragons. Why is radial overlay looking the same as everything else? Radial overlay, stop acting like you don't know how to work. We both know that's not true. I will win. Foxy's here. Hello and welcome. Corey asks, what's the biggest print you've ever done? On FDM, let me go grab it. It's actually in the room. Every now and then I take my minis and I print them super big. Like this boy. Ka-chow. As far as my biggest like resin print, I did a couple that were pretty darn big this last week. I did this beholder, which is also sculpted on stream. Literally everything I show you guys is on Patreon. So if you want these, you know where to go. And then I also did that vehicle from last week's stream. This is also resin. So yeah, there's some of my biggest resin prints and my biggest FDM prints. This guy was also done recently. Pretty cool. Good question. Taylor said, could add another color to the cloth. Any more designs that might make it look cluttered. That's true. That's true. I could do a gradient on it. Foxy, what about a two-headed Empire State Building? Still no, but great question. We need a dragon rider with a big dragon. I would do that. I want you to do that with a posed monk on her staff. I would absolutely do that. Joking aside, if you guys haven't already, please check out my Patreon. It is why I'm able to do this full time, and you can join the community for free. So there's no reason to not lurk there as well. Alrighty, this guy is amazing. He's a hot mess. And I kind of love him. I wish I did his heads, but I'm tired. I'm tired and I'll do that tomorrow. Also, the #1 poll result was no. I assume you mean none of them? That's what the result is? It wasn't supposed to be an option to vote no. I accidentally put it in there. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I put a link to the Patreon in the chat. I forgot to say that. I was like, oh, check it out. And then dead silence. Just think about it really hard and it will magically appear in your browser. Just kidding. You really have to click on the link. All right, we're not adding any magical nonsense because he's already a hot mess in the best way. All right. So another kind of fun fact about this is like, unlike chromatic and metallic dragons, which are more common in like Dragonborn and just typical dragons, gem dragons tend to be neutral. They follow their own goals rather than a strict morality hierarchy of like being evil or simply good. They're a little more nuanced. But this guy just looks like he's mean. He just looks mean. But they're not usually two-headed either. And Dragonborn technically don't have wings or tails. So we have a lot going on here. It's breaking all of the rules. Corey says, I thought no was actually magical stuff between the horns. It was. I so goofed up this poll, guys. I'm sorry. I decided the magic between the horns would be a little too busy, so that's why I removed it. But when I erased it, YouTube just replaced it with no. Which is kind of funny. All right, let's get a fun picture here. Usually when I stop randomly and I smile at the camera, it's because I am grabbing screenshots to post for my summary recap. But I am smiling at you guys too. Both are true. Let's get a better render on here. Ambient occlusion's going a long way. It's not very dark. I need help with the shadows. There we go. Darken that up. Ooh, too dark, too dark. Cool, but no. I hate that. No, there we go. There we go, that looks better. And then my actual lighting setup needs help. Ooh, that's better. Let's do a strong light off to the right. Let's increase the intensity. Ahaha. And that way it's hitting his good side, his rock side. There we go. All right, we're in business. Looking like a thing. Okay. If you're just tuning in, hi, my name is Mia. I am Mia of M3M, which is short for Mia's 3D Models. The whole point of my business, I've been doing it for 6 years, is people give me requests, usually for their tabletop characters or monsters or whatever this awesome guy is, and then I sculpt it and make it 3D printable. They all go into one giant vault for everyone to have if you support me on Patreon. So by paying on Patreon, you get your request, but you also get access to everybody else's requests that I've sculpted, which is almost 1,000 at this point. So it's kind of like this really big happy community and kind of a creativity melting pot, if you will. So it's been a really good time. I love what I do, and there's always cool stuff coming out. I don't just make stuff this niche. I got your goblins, I got your peasants, I got your townsfolk, all that stuff. But I also have your two-headed gem dragons that are half sorcerer warlock for all your two-headed gem dragon needs. Goodness. Oh, we're naming him right now in the chat. This is very important. Very good. Barney Bear, Barnabas. Ooh, I like Barnabas. Mini Blaze can live with Barnabas. Good one, Hindsight. Oh, Hindsight, I did not give you your confetti intro because you were here so early. Hindsight always gets confetti. Partly because he's like my unofficial resident art director. Also, we're done with the Tavern Keeper's Craft today. Yay. Also, if you're just tuning in, we did start with this guy over here, this white guy. White guy. That's funnier, I thought. Oh, I'm hungry, so everything's funny. But yes, we started with this base mesh I made a while back, and then we developed it into this absolute beautiful monstrosity that I am really proud of right now. So yes. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. It is time to take a picture for me to post later. Where's my banana confetti? You're even a YouTube member. I really should do that. That'd be fun. I'll let Ricky know. Sweet. Hindsight says, Shrug, I'd allow a two-headed character as long as you didn't try to cheat the stats or some BS. This is fair. Monkey needs banana confetti. I can get that arranged. If you want to make ridiculous fun demands like banana confetti, you can do that if you become a YouTube member. At the bottom here, next to the happy hour sign, I have non-sleeper, Aloha, and then there's a tanker down there with a banana on it. That's for Monkey. So anyone that supports my channel on YouTube becoming a member, I think it's $5 a month. I put your name on a tankard down below. Just a fun little thing. Hindsight continues, and didn't make it obnoxious by hogging the spotlight or RPing two characters' personalities. Oh man, that would be insane to have if you have a player that's just talking to themselves because they're technically two characters. That'd be a mess. Foxy says, I'm inspired by your two-headed Dragonborn and your elemental horse. I think I want to ticket the two-legged horse. You can. So when they say ticket, so I have a lot of requests, right? So I'm a couple months out. In order to get all my requests done, it's probably going to take me until like, I don't know. What are months? July? Like 3 months? So if you were to submit a request on Patreon today, it would take me 2 to 3 months to actually get to it, but it would happen. However, if you buy a priority ticket, I would do it immediately. So you would see it done tomorrow. And Foxy is a patron, and they're wonderful, but they're also a menace, and they use their request for a two-legged horse. I know you guys have seen this dumb thing on the internet. I wouldn't do it. With my two-headed Dragonborn, and then the horse elemental, it only makes sense that we're going to have a two-legged horse, right? I think that would make sense. You can do that, Foxy. I begrudgingly accept your support. Mini plays. Oh, please don't start that again. Someone posted a bunch of bizarre two-legged centaurs. Half horse, half man. Oh, goodness. You guys are so much fun. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I missed some fun chat up there earlier. My bad. There is a new resin menu going on. And yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like the stream. It super helps. I mean, subscribing, that's a bit bold of me. But you can at least like the stream if you're enjoying this specific stream. If you want to come back, subscribe. Oh, Aloha has a question. Okay, I'll wait. I was going to go on break for a second, but I got no problem waiting for a question from Aloha. Ask away. I'm kind of decompressing right now from the Tavern Keeper's Craft anyway. Speaking of, the Tavern Keeper's Craft is just like the meat and the potatoes of the stream. I have like a warm-up and a happy hour and closing, but this is the main hour-and-a-half section or so. For the most part, my live streams are 3 to 3.5 hours, though I can be bought. There actually should be a goal live right now, if I recall. Anyway, to stream for another hour. Alrighty. Yoni says, can you tell me more about your academy? Yeah, absolutely. So I also teach how to 3D sculpt. I have a few students and former students that are in the chat right now. Let me put a link to that. Essentially, it's hosted on Patreon. You have to have a copy of ZBrush or ZBrush Core. Either it totally works, because if you're already a proficient 3D artist, you can get away with applying the techniques in Blender, but if you're brand new, you need ZBrush to follow along. But yeah, here is my M3M Academy. It's $30 a month, and essentially the whole gist of it is we have a DM in Discord, and it's a one-on-one mentorship. So you tell me what you want to learn, what your goal is. Most people say 3D printable characters. I take that, I keep that in mind, and I provide you assignments to get you to that point. So if you're brand new, we're doing fundamentals, baby. We're doing navigation, UI, brushes. I have assignments for all of that. And they're very, very specific and bite-sized assignments. And then we get into project work. Once you got your tools, and I really just coach you one-on-one. You're welcome to share your art with the community and talk with other students and help each other and, build each other up. But for the most part, the mentorship is the fact that you're paying for me and my time to directly coach what you need. Every student's different, so they get different stuff. Some students of mine don't do well with open-ended, like finish the assignment whenever, and I actually give them a schedule of when they finish the assignment every week. Other students need me to sculpt over their work directly to see what they need to improve. So it really just depends. All right, yeah, Monkey was a student. Aloha's a current student. Aloha's question is, can I eat the Streamlabs bot, please? He's made of resin. I'm struggling to contain myself. Is he made of resin? I mean, he has new drinks to appease you in the meantime. Beautiful. Beautiful. We need a centaur playing a sitar. That would be fantastic. That should be a request. Very good. And yes, the menu has changed. I do update that pretty much every other stream or so. Corey was also a student. Yep. I absorbed all of the knowledge. Yep. Yeah, some people learn the fundamentals with me and then immediately branch off into their own project work, or they stick around and continue to build. It really depends on whether it's like a hobbyist or professional end goal. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. In short, my mentorship program teaches you how to use ZBrush and make your own 3D printable characters. I facilitate that usually through Discord DM and individual assignments. That's pretty much it. I wouldn't worry about that too much, Mini Blues. I don't think we have children in the chat. 18 and older here, I'm hoping. Alright guys, I'm gonna go on break. It's currently 2 o'clock. I will be back probably around 2:20 Eastern time. That being said, just if you're in a different time zone, I'll be back at the 20-minute mark of the next hour. Thank you guys for being here. And got any other questions, feel free to ask in the chat and I'll get back to it when I return in 20 minutes or so. Alrighty. I usually return early, just keep that in mind. Alrighty, where's my break button? There it is. Okay, bye. Hello, I'm back. I'm also back like 10 minutes early through my break. I just excited to finish up because I'm really excited for lunch. So I'm gonna get the happy hour done, some more work done, last call, and it's a wrap. And I'll just see you guys tomorrow. All right, so this is what we worked on today during the Tavern Keeper's Craft. Really, really happy with this. It looks positively insane in the best way. Gonna give this a save, 'cause I did not save. But hello and welcome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really love what I do, and it's even more fun to have you guys here. We have a lot of regulars in the tavern today, but if you're new and have questions, feel free to ask. Don't be shy. And if you are not brave enough to ask the question, then just think it really hard and maybe I'll telepathically guess and start talking about it. Stranger things have happened. All right, this is our Gem Dragonborn. I'm just gonna call it that for now. Might need to specify it's two-headed. Yeah, in the title. I already have some Gem Dragonborns in my vault on Patreon. Mini Blaze says, even when we are spicy. Yes, especially when you guys are spicy. I still enjoy your guys' company. All right, so for today, I think it'd be a good time to get my asset library all updated again. Mini Blaze says, you can always ask in the Discord. That's true. I mean, there's over 800 people in my Discord, so maybe it's more bravery to ask a question there. Hard to say. Yoni says, would you be able to teach 3D printable anime characters? Absolutely. The thing about anime characters that's really tricky with 3D is getting that face correct. Some people paint them on, others find it in between, but the rest of it, like the clothing and stuff, it's all the same. It's the same process. Asset creation, weapons, all that good stuff, 100%. But again, what's really tricky, it's gonna be getting that face just right, which I don't have as much experience with. However, I can teach you how to do it. And ZBrush even has a default anime head in here. There it is. Bam. This is just a project in ZBrush to get started with. And they've kind of solved a couple of these issues for you as far as proportions go. It's a tricky one for sure. So I don't know if I have the model on here. The dumb nose and eyes. Oh, we don't hate anime here. No. It's fun. I have a separate business that I run called Spicy Arts, which is where I do pinup models, and I kind of run more of that line of looking more stylized versus my typical fantasy works where I sculpt like dragons. Let's see if I have Idrisil in here. I recently did a pinup model that was based on the World Tree. No, I have my Bard pinup I'm working on, which is really cute, but this obviously isn't anime. But it's a different style in the face. It's a bit cuter. Sculpted a bit different. Not anime. But point being, yes, absolutely a thing. All right, but what I was actually talking about is the way that I construct my models pretty quickly, and for people that have been around, I have this asset library that I work on. And every now and then it gets pretty out of date. So let's get it all freshened up again. Here are my master tools. We'll start with belts, pants, and shoes. Here it is. And I got some pieces I can add into it. I'm always keeping an eye on my total poly count, which is currently at 2.3 million for all of these assets. I kind of delete them as I go as I find better ways to do things, or assets I just don't use very often. All right, and then I have a folder up here called Organize, and these are all the pieces we're gonna organize today during my happy hour. Oh look, there's Thor. I don't know why Thor is in here. It's a project I was working on earlier. Hindsight says, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the anime style, but putting those features in 3D, it's absolutely doable and in a charming aesthetic way. One of my favorite artists is, look up Danny Mac. He rocks. That's where I got my, look up typo. Anyway, it's not, again, classic anime style, but it is that more stylized look in 3D, and it's quite aesthetic and quite pleasing to look at. Hindsight, I've never been to pull it off, but I'm not good at it in 2D. Honestly, same. All right. Can't remember his name. Good. Make sure I'm grabbing all the main questions in chat. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get some stuff in here. Something that kind of bothered me is I forgot, I usually have a convention here where I will put like pant underscore thing, the name of it. Like right here, these are all my hairstyles, so it kind of auto sort, but I forgot to do that. So I have to go through here manually like a peasant and find any pant objects we have. There's a blank tabard, that belongs in here. Oh, another funny thing about this is you have to, let's scoot this over. There we go. Duplicate one of your subtools when you add it in. Whenever you're appending or inserting new subtools within ZBrush, it overwrites the one you currently have selected. Annoying, but doable. Scoot. So for example, you have all this laid out, and I click on this tabard right here, and duplicate it, tool, import. And there's my menu. Sweet. So yeah, it's a really, really chill happy hour today. If this is your first time joining the stream, low key, sorry. Usually my happy hours are more fun in my opinion. I'm just doing some organization today, but literally every other day it is more fun, so come back. All right, blank tabard. Or don't, and then you'll just miss out. That's also an option. I've been wanting to use this piece, but I really don't end up ever using it. So let's go ahead and delete some of these I know that are problems. I'm also going to scoot this over a touch because I really want to see my current active points as well. There it is. Perfect. Mini says, so you can separate those assets and make separate folders for them. I mean, I could use folders. That would be much less heathen-y of me. I really don't use, I'm using my stylus to circle the subtool menu here. I really don't use this for organization. I just group them right here. And if you hold down Option, you can tap and click, and it will auto-select whatever you're highlighted above. And I take that piece, open a new tool, and then I can just click Append, and grab whatever I had selected. There you go. And that's how I move these objects in between different scenes. If that didn't make sense, just keep asking. It'll make sense at some point. I can keep rephrasing it. All right. Hindsight. All right, chat. Favorite anime of all time. For me, Ninja Scroll, hands down. Favorite anime. Okay, how broad are we going with like anime definition? Yeah, like Prentice. Hey, the Forge of Many Things is here. I think you've been here before. Either way, welcome. Kiki's Delivery Service. A lot of Studio Ghibli fans here. Warms my heart. Mini Blaze. You can have a folder for each type, like shoes. Yes, again, I just don't use folders. You always can. Foxy. It has a beach episode. That's a very convincing argument. Blue Eye Samurai. Yoni has a Berserk tattoo. Sick, sick. I'm a big fan of Full Metal Alchemist. Is it my favorite though? I don't know if it's my favorite. I read more than I watch anime, which counts, you know? So in that case, probably Attack on Titan. I'm a simple bitch. I've never seen or read Berserk. I got it. I've had some people recommend it to me. All right, I can't be slow and get nothing done. I can be slow and get stuff done, but I can't do nothing. All right, let's delete that. I'm also gonna do a scroll here on anything that is higher poly than it has any business being. Like this does not need to be 20,000 points. That's ridiculous. So we're kind of just cleaning things up as we go. Yeah, a lot of these are super bloated. I can fix that. Also, hindsight, way to facilitate the discussion right now. You were doing, I really appreciate it. It's just, I don't know. Good peasant. Yeah, this is 50,000 points. That is a crime. Beautiful. Nice topology. No. And when you zoom in, it just gets worse. No, don't do that. Delete. If you're one of my students, pay attention, because I will yell at you for that. Kindly. And if you're new, I will be very sweet to you, because you don't know the rules yet. Alright, these belts suck. I never use them, so I'm going to delete them, because I know I need to do a better job making them. These ones I do use. That one's stiff and ugly. We're doing a purge right now. Purge. These little booty shorts are so freaking cute and well constructed. Double points for Mia. That one I know is a disaster topology wise. That's a blob, but a workable blob. I will keep you. Awful. Awful. Very good. Bad topology. I know that one has bad topology. I don't know why I keep it. There we go. Just a little reorganizing while gentle self-roasting. It's all good. Don't forget, I am also my own biggest fan, so it's okay. It all balances out. Aloha. Look, Mia. Mia's supporting bad topology. No. No. Skimming through looks good. Corey's favorite is Sword Art Online. At least the earlier stuff. The premise for me, since I'm a huge MMO player. That makes sense. I actually read a good section of it, and then I fell off. I can't remember why. So you can repair the topology? Yeah, you can. You totally can. I just don't. Long story, it's not worth my effort. It's better to just recreate it. Yoni, can you still 3D print models with bad topology? Oh, heck yeah. You can just have a disaster of topology. I go in with Decimation Master at the end, and I just obliterate that thing with triangles and crime. It's great. You can't have like holes in your mesh. It has to be a real object. So yes. But that's not bad topology. Bad topology to me is like triangles, hard to work with, that kind of stuff. And you can't retopologize anything, but it's typically better just to reconstruct it well. Clute says, depends what you're calling bad topology, doesn't need to be game friendly. Very true. Yes, modeling topology and animation are very different, which is why both workflows typically have a retopology process at some point. Tunic peasant. Oh, very cute. All right, what other pants do we have going on? I have this tall jester boot I forgot about. This one actually looks pretty nice. I'm gonna delete my stubby one because it has problems. Let's put you over here. So you can see I'm kind of like just almost like organizing a closet essentially. And then as I add things, I come to my main list over here and I delete it just for simplicity's sake. Yoni says, oh, good. I'm glad that you're learning. If you're on the fence though, and you're seriously considering being a student of mine, like ask whatever you need to put you over like that edge of just be my student. I would love to teach you and I'm damn good at it. The big appeal is that I've taught a lot of different types of students and goals over the years. Definitely I've hit over, gosh, probably not over 100, but definitely more than 50 at this point. Also, you're not really gonna find a better deal. 30 bucks for a mentorship is really, really cheap. The reason why I offer it that cheap is purely because that's the amount of value I find the average person will spend. I mean, they get more value than that. What I'm trying to say is a lot of like professional mentorships are in the hundreds of dollars and they only last like a month or something. Most people are way too busy to actually get $500 worth of content out of like a few months, right? So that's why I figured $1 a day is a much easier and affordable option for people to get the most value out of. I do run sales on my main Patreon for 3D printing, but for my academy, I never do. It is always $30 a month. Just in case anyone's like, oh, I'll wait for a sale. It is not coming. It will always be $1 a day. It's already a screaming deal. Okay, I just added in this sock thing. Where is my, what did I call this? Shoe cloth wrapping. Very good. Sweet. Boop. And let's get the sandal in there. And I'll probably delete the original sandal after this because I'm probably not going to use it if I have a better version sitting right here. Excellent. Dude. Let's get this nice sandal in its spot. It's a nice little upgrade. Love seeing that. Yoni says, I've spent a hefty amount of tutorials, but I end up not finishing them, so maybe a mentorship is better. You won't get a better bang for buck to just try it out. You know what I mean? I think it is, because for a lot of people, it provides some level of accountability of like, okay, technically someone's waiting on your assignment. It's up to you if you set deadlines or not. If you want structure, I can provide that. But I find when you're able to hand off your assignment to someone as finished, it allows you to put it away and move on to the next thing. So it kind of stops that perfectionist cycle, which for a lot of creatives is vicious and unrelenting. That being said, there is no secret pill, you know? At the end of the day, you just gotta get your butt down at the computer and sculpt a lot. That's the only way to get better. Mini Blaze said, did I see a deal for yearly payment over monthly? Oh yeah, if you pay annually to be my student, you save you get like 2 or 3 months free as a result. Taka says, I might even join your mentorship. Once I find finished job training in summer. Sounds like a nice hobby. I would love that. Especially people that I've seen here a lot, like Taka, I'm invested in you guys. I am. I love my peasants. I want to see you succeed. And the other day, Hindsight even mentioned not being like a student necessarily, but just picking up art again. I know Corey's unboxed his tablet for the first time in months or maybe a few years. And that's kind of what it's all about for me. I really want to make a positive impact everywhere I go. And if I can re-inspire art for people, that's a life well lived, I think. Monkey said, it is worth it. He's a former student of mine. I guess a lifelong student, because I would always help Monkey out. If for nothing else, the pure organization of your topics. I use it mainly as a resource to find what I was looking for in different topics and tools, just learning the basics of. Yeah, what I'm not talking about, but is true. I have an entire library of videos that I provide to my students. I don't lead with that as the advertising point, because I want you to know that you're not going to be left stranded. If you're a mentorship student of mine, I am going to simplify all of it. I'm going to tell you what video to watch and what to do. I'm not going to just dump you out on a library and be like, okay, figure it out. Unless that's your way you learn, because that's what I like. Give me a book and leave me alone. I am not a good student. I'm a great teacher, not a good student. Aloha mentions, you should all join mentorship guys, try it out for a month. It's a great value, even better substance. All about the substance. Clute was also a former student of mine. 100% suggest and endorse Mia's mentorship program. I was struggling with a lot of beginner-friendly tutorials. Yeah, beginner-friendly. They're so dense. And after some guides from Mia, I was up and making minis super quick. It's true. God, Clute, though, you're also an exceptional 2D artist. All right, we're talking about the Patreon so much that I'm going to re-link it. If you guys are on the fence of joining my mentorship program, or you're too busy right now, I understand. But there is the link. You can join that community for free, and then you can just forget about it, you know? But then you have that first step. You're in the ecosystem. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. That is how Monkey learned. Just went to my video library and found what I needed to learn. It was pretty awesome. Since you have left my mentorship program, Monkey, I actually have course packages now that are pretty bitchin'. They're a lot higher quality and a bit quicker as well. So there's even been improvements since you've been there. Hindsight says, that was literally my experience in undergrad with ZBrush. They were like, here's ZBrush, go watch videos to learn how to use it. I love ZBrush, but I was so slow. That makes sense, you know? It's like, it's so much to learn and it's so hard to figure out what to prioritize. It's much easier to have someone be like, okay, bite size. You're gonna learn this crumb today, this crumb. You know what I mean? That's how I structure projects for my students. Aloha has just started project work. Yay for Aloha. And it's a bunch of little assignments that result in a finished 3D model. But that way it's not so intimidating and you kind of can stay clear-headed on what you're working on. Hindsight says it very well. And when I couldn't find tools or hit roadblocks, I got overwhelmed and would stop. Very, very common. I mean, past being common, like that is the experience with learning. And then it sucks because the reality is, even if you're a great student and you're not getting overwhelmed and you're not getting frustrated, which is crazy, we all do that. But let's say you're not. You're not frustrated, you're happy, you're just going along. Life gets busy. You're gonna fall off from learning anyway. Expect that and then have a plan for when you get back on. Like, okay, if I fall off of it for a week, that's okay. I'm not gonna be mad at myself. I'm gonna go back to it on Monday. I'll open the program and there you go. You're already reestablishing that habit. But if you're already naturally falling off because life gets busy and you're frustrated, it's tough, you know? So I'm hoping, like, the whole goal of my mentorship program is to remove the frustration aspect of it. So that way you just have to worry about, you know, the whole life bit. Just worry about that part. Yoni agrees. I feel you, Hindsight. Yeah, it's tricky. Monkey said, honestly, the only reason I left was during tax season last year. I had to pay a bunch of money to IRS for Kickstarters and stuff. Oh, God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. It's super stressful. Oh, okay. On a real note, Monkey, what do you use for your taxes? I use Keeper, and it has saved my entire life. If you're interested, I do have a discount code for that, and it's the best, and has saved me so much stress. So other fellow artists that need help with taxes, let me know. I'll put info in that in our Discord. Hindsight says, I'll probably do the mentorship when I'm done with school, assuming you're still doing it. Probably. Monkey says, I am literally adding up my expenses right now. Oh, so do you want that tax thing? Or is that for mentorship? Either way, very cool. All right, I think I'm all caught up on the chat. This is some really good stuff. I'm glad that you guys kind of tuned in about the mentorship program because I don't want to feel like a big ad, but I'm very passionate about what I do and it's my livelihood. So I have lots of reason to want to talk about it. But I feel bad if there's only like one person asking about it, but everyone's talking about it right now, which makes me very, very happy. I also need to be more comfortable about shilling my own stuff. It's my channel. I don't know. It feels silly. Because to me, we're just hanging out, you know? I wouldn't, I don't know. I actually would talk to my friends about learning ZBrush. Yeah, I just need more practice talking about it. That's what it comes down to. All right, we need some medieval trim here. Ooh, I made these beautiful moth wings too. Gosh, I've made all of these assets on stream with you guys recently. Some good stuff in here. I like it. Aloha, don't worry, Mia. That's why I'm here to scoop. Thank you, Aloha. Mini Blaze says, main reason I started looking at Blender and ZBrush is for 3D printing. Blender is also a great alternative and it is free. ZBrush is kind of expensive, you know, especially if you don't have another means to get it. Taka says, damn, now I'm all excited, but exams are coming up. There's no way I'll find time right now. Yeah, it really depends how much time you can put into it. Obviously, the more time you dedicate to learning, the better you get, right? I find if you can commit to sitting down at the computer for 15 to 30 minutes once a week, you will make meaningful enough progress to justify the cost of mentorship. Yeah, 15 to 30 minutes once a week. If you can do it twice a week, oh, you're gonna fly through the lessons. I'm gonna put this up right now because this is really sweet. This is our Discord. This is from Clute and very, very relevant. Clute says, I would highly suggest taking advantage of Mia's mentorship program. I started off with Flip Normal's tutorial to make this cave troll, but I was so lost making minis. After getting some help, I finished 2 minis and have been improving every project since. This is the cave troll, which is admittedly awesome. but it's nothing compared to these. I mean, my gosh, that's awesome. I remember this guy. Yeah. I'm so proud of you. And not even just being part of my mentorship program, but like, you really just keep improving. You're so cool. That's awesome. I feel very lucky to know all of y'all. I really do. Our Frampt is here. Hello and welcome. Luckily, I bought ZBrush Perpetual license back in 22. That's the way to do it. I'm rocking 2022.0.8 right now. Taka says, yeah, I would find time, but I already feel stressed every minute that I'm free. I'm sorry. I used to have like super severe anxiety in college too. It gets better. It does get better, I promise. Monkey says, I know I should do them quarterly, but I just don't. Yeah, here. I'm gonna DM you after this, Monkey, with help about taxes. Not that you're helpless, I want to help. And I think I can provide some good stuff. Yoni says, that was definitely a huge improvement. Claude's also just awesome though. Corey also has 2022 Perpetual. Very good. I like it. I like it. That makes me feel better. There used to be ZBrush Core, and then ZBrush or Maxon disappeared it recently. Gave me an absolute fit on livestream a week ago. I was trying to find it for someone. And then one of y'all, a couple of y'all, tuned into my Discord and they're like, Mia, it's gone. It is, you cannot find it. Maxon says they're going to re-release it later. We'll see. ZBrush Core is a much cheaper alternative to the full version of ZBrush. It's only $10 a month instead of $40. So, we'll see. All right, we're gonna work on a new asset library here. One of my favorites. This is my items one. And it's fun because it's just full of little items. I even have stuff as detailed and well blocked out as like this panther here. Pretty nice quads. And then we got really nice poly grouping here. It's easy posing and then easy proportion changing as well. I also got some really goofy cats. Look at the dumb face on this cat. I have a better cat to replace this with in the meantime. Part of being an artist is looking at your old work and laughing at it. Affectionately, of course. Me back then was very proud of that, so I'm not gonna shit on it. But I have a much better cat now. I actually did a Scottish fold recently. Someone requested it on Patreon because their cat passed away, and it was very sad. So they went to my Patreon to request that I sculpt it, and I did so, and I made a version with wings too, so it's a Tressum. Where is that adorable Scottish fold? Yeah, look at his little smushed face. Cute. Bam, adorable. Oh, Taka says, oh, not even stressed, like worried, just like I don't have time. Time stress. I get you. Taka says, I'm gonna use my first big paycheck for the mentorship and this fancy 16K Lego printer. That sounds awesome. Taka says, oh, Corey says, sadly they stopped supporting the perpetual license, so to upgrade I have to pay another bunch for the latest versions. You do not need to do that though. Like, the features Maxon has added to ZBrush is genuinely a joke. So yeah, I think for me, it's like, they want $500 for me to get like the ooze brush. It's an absolute joke. I have not upgraded. I'm still at 2022. Frampt says, I do have a question regarding making sure a model doesn't have air bubbles in a sculpt due to intersecting geometry. Yes, in ZBrush, your best way to do that is to click W for your 3D gizmo, then the gear, then remesh by union. That will take any intersecting geometry and mesh it into one. Another thing you can do, I'm not sure how familiar you are with ZBrush, is you can actually run a Boolean operation where you can subtract. You can like literally scrub through the model and see if there's any holes. Man, a lot of good chat right now. Thank you guys. I feel very grateful to have y'all here. If you're new and there are some newbies and you're on Discord, join our community. You're fun and y'all are all getting along. Aloha says, Mia, I feel like having a fun project for everyone struggling with art each week might be fun. Like, hey guys, we're gonna all create a goblin, whether that's 3D model or literally just a sketch. That sounds fantastic. You've mentioned this before and I forgot about it, but you brought it up again. I remember and I'm excited about it again. I'm gonna have to write it down because that means I'm gonna forget it again. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna toy with the idea of doing community art events. Weekly might even still be too much, but if I do it on stream, you guys can just grab like a sticky note, literally, and draw like a stick figure goblin. I think it'd be a really fun time for everyone. Framp says, I knew the Boolean one, but the remesh is sick. Thank you very, very much. You're welcome. Mini Blaze says, they've really upgraded it from the Mars I got, talking about Lego 3D printers. We gave suggestions, and they used many of the suggestions for the new Mars. I love to see it. I love when companies are taking feedback and getting better. Man, I didn't get any of this done. We had so much good stuff to talk about. If you're just hanging out, usually my streams are a bit more ripping as far as actually creating content. This is our happy hour where I kind of like wind down. But you guys were very distracting and really fun, so we just talked instead. And that's a-okay. We're gonna save this and we're gonna start last call. All right, this is the end of my streams. We're gonna do a recap of everything that happened during this live stream. And then we'll talk about tomorrow's stream. There's items. All right, so at happy hour, I did some organization in my asset library. This is what allows me to iterate and create characters very quickly. But what was really cool is we opened up the stream with working on a loot, which is destined for my asset library. It's the whole point of it. Let's come down here onto downloads, work in progress, loot. Here we go. So on the left here, we have this charming loot I made back in like 2019. I can do a lot better now. So what we're doing is we are creating something that has better structure and much better topology, so I can really quickly go through all these different elements here and create all kinds of different loots. So at a glance, people will probably be like, oh, this one has more appeal. That's because it has like a swirl on it. Look at how like lumpy it is. It needs help. This is a lot cleaner and will allow me to make all kinds of different loots very quickly because it was well constructed. The real event here though, our Tavern Keeper's Craft, was a two-headed Dragonborn that's a gem, like gem base, which is insane. We started with this guy over here, and within an hour and a half or so, we made this absolute monstrosity. Mostly from detailing from scratch. The heads aren't done at all, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because the rest of it looks pretty cool. The point of this is it was a request from me on Patreon. So people give me requests to make their characters in D&D 3D printable. And then what's really fun is if you support on Patreon, you get access to not only making requests, but everybody else's requests I've modeled. And there's almost 1,000 models available. So it's kind of like Netflix, except you don't have to rent anything. You just get immediate access to my entire library. It's a win-win for everyone that way. What's cool about this guy is he is half warlock, which is the left side, and then half sorcerer, which is the right side. It's absolutely wild. I don't know if this is their player character or if this is a boss. We are not at the posing stage yet. We are just at the drafting. This is my first day working on the model, so obviously we have a long way to go, but it's looking pretty cool. Busy. Busy is a word. I'm gonna go with epic to describe it. RB Gaming is back. Hi, welcome. It's been a while. I'm doing great. Frampt is currently making some fan sculpts of Warhammer characters. That's awesome. Very cool. Yoni says, I'll join the mentorship now to start my ZBrush journey again. Oh, that'd be fantastic. That gets a confetti moment. I love getting new students. That's very, very exciting. Thank you for trusting me to be part of your journey. I've taught a lot of brand new beginners, but I've taught a lot of people that have been making stuff for years. I know I'm gonna be able to help you and figure some stuff out. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be exciting. Very cool. Yeah, I'm glad that people are super excited and encouraging Yoni. Hell yeah, let's go. That's gonna be a really good time. Alrighty. That's kind of the wrap up on this stream though. Other than I got a new student going on, which is really cool. I'm excited for that. I'll make sure to check out my email right after this so I have some like beginning questions to get started and then we'll jump right into it. Aloha, consider yourself scooped. Awesome. Yeah, if you want any extra help or resources, join our Discord and then you can talk to other students as well. I think, Yoni, you might already be in there. I can't quite remember. But either way, you should join the Discord because that's where it's easiest for me as your teacher to teach you as well. As your teacher teach? Anyway, there's some channels in there that are meant for my students as far as asking questions, as well as sharing your artwork as you get better. It's a fun time. Fram says it was remeshed by Union. Yes, sir. Right here on the little gear. And then right here, remesh by Union. If that throws up a bunch of errors, you might have other issues in your topology. Some ways to help that are going to close holes, then remesh by Union. If you're still having some silliness, you can go to Geometry, Modify Topology, Mesh Integrity, Check Mesh, and then Fix Mesh. Include confirms, yes, remesh by Union, absolutely. And yeah, if it throws some errors up, then you have some other things you need to fix. I do have a full tutorial on that for my students, just letting you know. Aloha talking to Corey. Don't think the tavern forgot about your dragon blob. We expect updates in 5 to 7 business days. Fran says, hi, how do I join the mentorship? It's hosted on Patreon. That's where like the actual money happens. But as far as like where I talk to you, it's usually in our Discord or in email if you want. I really recommend Discord though, because then you can talk to my other students as well. And I find that students have a really good way of explaining concepts to each other. Just being part of that community. There is an invite to the Discord if you scroll up the stream a little bit. But I can put another fresh invite if y'all need one. All good stuff though. Here is our Discord server though. We have a bunch of different channels here. I have one specifically for 3D modeling. You have Ask M3DM Mentorship, which is a spot where you can ask me questions privately in our DM. But if you're feeling brave, ask me here, and then everyone can see the answer and benefit. ZBrush questions, student artwork, hammer, and then tips and inspiration as well. So it's just a really good time. We're a friendly bunch. A lot of good questions and a lot of traction on mentorship today, which is super fun. I'm gonna hang around for a bit during our closing here just in case more questions roll in, but I stream pretty much every day. So if you ever have questions or you missed me, don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow, if not the next day. It's been a really good stream. It's been fun. Working on this guy was a riot. He looks insane in the best way. Aloha has a good point. If you guys are just hanging out here and you want stuff to 3D print, that is the main point of my business. I just happen to also teach. Hindsight says, the remesh by Uni would make a good short. Just saying. This is true. I haven't done a whole lot of like educational shorts on YouTube, but I could. Monkey, remember that one time we got Mia to come back as an encore? You sure did. I should start dropping all my tips and tricks as shorts. Minnie Blaze says, this looks like something from a Godzilla movie. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think he does. I can see him destroying a city, 3. I like it. General chat gift drop. We did it, guys. Oh, Aloha, what are you doing now? An all-timer. A generational day of scooping. It's been a good one, yeah. Alright guys, I'm signing off in the next minute or so unless there are any residual questions. Whether it's about mentorship, 3D printing, or just how my day's going. Either is fine. Mini Blade says, you could do something like the Blender tips do. Have you seen those? I think so. I really don't spend as much time on like shorts and reels as I used to because they were time suck. But there's some really good content out there for sure. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It was a really fun time. Worked on some really cool characters. If you haven't already, like the stream, and subscribe to my channel. It makes a huge difference, and that's the best way to find me easier in the future. Corey says, hope you have a good rest of the day, and good luck with the Monster Hunter, was it? Yes, most of my free time is spent playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Beautiful. Thank you, Mini Blaze. I will check that out. Thank you. Alright guys, I think that's a wrap. Making sure I'm not missing anything before I dip. Sometimes I leave and there's like an important question right away. Wilds is so good, yes. And we do have a channel in my Discord server. I have a tabber squad for us to do hunts together. So, Yoni, you gotta join the Discord at the very least, well, because you're a student of mine, but also because we can do some hunts together too. Alright guys, I am signing off, and I feel like there's an important question coming in soon. I really want to eat lunch though. Anyway, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye!